Alrighty, as expected, we're coming to part 3. I hope it doesn't take 5 or 6 of these, because that would be just ridiculous. So, I've anticipated 3 of the 9 houses. Let's get on with it. Yes, I'm anticipating, of course, Insidious, the next IP house. Yes, the greatest IP of all, of course, is that venerable author, Ivan Peter Freely, who wrote the book Yellow River by I.P. Freely. One of the classic pieces of literature, along with The Leopard's Revenge by Claude Balls. But enough of that silliness. Insidious is an intellectual property house that will be going into one of the Sprung tents, and of course based on the Insidious film franchise. Now, I've had the joy of seeing the first one in the cinema and the second one on television. I've not seen the third one yet, but I will soon. It'll be on Vudu by the 22nd, and then I can watch it. But from what I have seen and heard of the films, they're rather cool. I really liked the first one. The second one not as much, but it wasn't bad. And the third one, from what I've seen, the clips, it looks good. And the concepts are rather novel and intriguing. And from what I hear, the house in California a couple of years ago was pretty impressive. But what really excites me is that anyone who has seen the house so far, and apparently they gave all the media a sneak preview of that particular house on Tuesday night, they say it's freaking terrifying. In fact, one person said that the coordinators, when they did their walkthrough, were afraid to go through the house with the lights on and no scare actors and no effects. That just the set pieces themselves scared the crap out of them. And I thought, oh my God, what will this house be like in the dark with scare actors and effects? It might just become one of the scariest houses of all time. At least I don't want to create too much hype ahead of times, because you might be disappointed. But it may rival houses like Dead Exposure or Insanity, which are 2 of the most frightening houses I've ever been in. So I'm really, really excited about this. It might be really freaking scary. And then, of course, we have the remaining IPs. We have The Walking Dead back for a 4th go. Not that much anticipation there, because, gee, haven't I done that 3 times before in the past 3 years? That's a bit much. Although I hear they're doing some interesting underwater effects, and I'm curious to see whether that's just going to be some sort of laser fog illusion of water, or whether they're actually going to have somebody splashing in actual water, and how they're going to get around safety problems with that sort of thing. And then there's the Purge, which is interesting. I'm not quite as excited about that. I was more excited about what the Purge took the place of. Scream, which they lost the rights to, which is a movie that I enjoyed a lot, and I saw the first Purge film. I haven't seen the second one yet. I suppose it might be interesting, the same concept, but it's not one that I'm really that eager for. So those 2 houses, not so much, but the other IPs are big. But the original houses, oh my God, am I looking forward to those. Oh, Run. It's been Run was one of the most exciting original concepts when it appeared in 2001. Not perhaps as exciting as it could have been. Of course, back then they were able to pulse the house, and where people go in a bit at a time, and it was a real maze. That is to say, it wasn't always the same path, and sometimes the path could change. They could slam a door in your face and you'd have to find a different way out. They couldn't really do that now. The line would be 12 hours long. The second run was a parody or a homage or a rip-off, whichever one you want to call, of Hostel. But this one is going to be quite different. Eddie's not involved, and it looks from what I've seen at the press release the other night, it looks like it's going to feature an international cast of killers. There's a kimono and a kabuki mask and a gas mask, and the names on them are from different countries, like Andre and Kira. And we know a Canadian's involved because Aiello's weird tweet with the maple flag the other day. So we're going to have killers from around the world in this house, which sounds quite interesting. It's just like Epcot's World Showcase, only instead of a food and wine festival, it's, you know, a blood and gore festival, a blood, sweat and fears festival. Just so long as they don't put Frozen in there. Although they might put Frozen in a scare zone, because they're doing a Scary Tales again this year. That would be hysterical if they parodied Frozen there. That would be classic. God, I hope they do that. Just stick it to the mouse in his mouse mania money grubbing madness. Oh, that frozen head and that catacomb beneath there, plotting world domination. Oh well. But enough of that. Getting back to Run, Blood, Sweat and Fears. And of course the Japanese thing makes me wonder, because they were allegedly going to do a Ninja Geisha scare zone last year, and I wonder, are we going to finally get our Ninja Geishas this year? You know, is it like Go-Go from the Kill Bill or something, some wild, crazy, kabuki Japanese anime killer girl? That sounds fun to me. I can see drag queens doing cosplay already. Anyway, and there's also, of course, the original house, Asylum in Wonderland, which, of course, is based in part on the Scare Zone and the Scary Tales concept, but actually will take place in an asylum, apparently. We actually get to see the asylum. They've shown us Alice with a trench, with a straitjacket over her blue dress. They've shown us a Hannibal Lecter bunny ear, white rabbit mask. And we've also apparently going to be some references to Treeks and Foons, because a Tweedledum is a Tweedletweek, and from the mask that they had on display. And so this will be an exciting addendum to that, but also in 3D. Ooh, oh yes, curiouser and curiouser. I think that'll be exciting. And of course, the fact that it's in an entirely new house location, the Shrek Theatre, that should be intriguing just in that alone. So I'm filled with curiosity and anticipation for that one. All right, and I think there's one more house I haven't mentioned. I think if I did it right, I mentioned all the IPs, and I think there's, is it 4 IPs and 5? No, it's 5 IPs and 4 originals, I believe. In this I mistook myself. Fortunately, I wrote them down just in case I had a brain fart. And yes, the one remaining house, of course, Body Collectors Recollections, a mashup between the Body Collectors and Shady Brook, where we find out that way in the past the asylum of Shady Brook, or perhaps the asylum that preceded Shady Brook. I wonder about that, because it's set in the 19th century, and according to signs that have already been seen, Shady Brook Sanitarium is founded in 1911. So this must be a previous institution that became the Shady Brook that we know from the psychotherapy houses. And the whole building may have been destroyed, because the new one was Art Deco, right? And this one looks much more Gothic in the pictures they've shown us of the facade. And we see then, during a terrible blizzard, the Body Collectors will swoop down upon this captive audience. We've been told the origin of their assistants will be revealed, that they were the victims, they were inmates of Shady Brook that were transformed into those assistants who always wore straitjacket-like clothing, so that makes sense where those assistants came from. But they've also suggested that we'll find out more about the Body Collectors themselves and where they came from. I always thought it was Terra Quentis, but maybe there's another story yet to be told. And so we have more connections of stories yet to be told. Who knows what all might be revealed in that house, and maybe some other dark secrets to be found out. Ooh, that's one of the things that excite me the most about this year. And the scare zones, of course. We have Scary Tales, a very popular franchise, and we've had 3 previous haunted houses, and now we're going to have a scare zone that's steampunk. So like Souls and Steam with an evil queen. And they said something about Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, and obviously Wizard of Oz, which has a whole steampunk look to begin with. But what else will be there? I hope Peter Pan, because I did use a Neverland song. I don't know. Maybe and I hope some other interesting classic stories, but I also hope they really stick it to those people with the mouse ears down the street, because they deserve it. And like I said, Frozen would be hysterical. I hope they do that. I really hope they do not repress themselves, but go ahead and go for the juggler with that, because that would be really funny. Because we miss the Norway Pavilion the way it was supposed to be. Oh, and then of course we have Psychoscarapy Unleashed, where our mad killers run loose in a block party in New York, and that looks like it's going to be fun. And we're told all the lovely decorations that are already set up aren't even half of it, because once Rock the Universe is over and the Christians don't get upset anymore, they don't want to offend them, so they're waiting for them to get done with their festival before they cover the whole streets with blood and gore. It's supposed to be the most gory scare zone of all time. That's something to anticipate. And the icons return gloriously. Yes, we know for a fact, because the banners hanging over the street have been seen already in Hollywood Boulevard. The usher, the caretaker, the storyteller, and the director. The director. Love him. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing all those old friends again, and there may be more old friends in the streets. We know the Rat Lady is going to be there. We've seen her glass coffin on display. What fun. And who else might be in there? They said Cindy. They showed Cindy's costume. So we may see other iconic characters. Maybe Eddie. Maybe even Lady Luck. Maybe some other characters from the past who weren't necessarily icons, but were big deal characters that people love and are favorites. What fun. And then, of course, in Central Park, a Halloween traditional scare zone called Evil's Roots. We've seen that creepy little fairy. We've also seen a mask of Samhain, the demon from the Hallow. So we know he'll be back, and goblins and other creatures. Will the traditional trick-or-treaters be there? I don't know. We all thought they would, but I don't know, because after all, it's the masks of the traditionals are seen for that Psychoscarapy zone instead. Apparently the inmates will be wearing those masks this year, so that's unusual. And then the final scare zone, I believe, did I cover 4 already? Yeah, I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. The 5th one is over in San Francisco, the all-night die-in double feature. And oh, I love the sets they've put up already. The big dilapidated old movie screen with pieces falling off of it, and the projection tower at the snack booth with the sign falling down in Cary, Ohio, where it's all happening. Oh joy, they're bringing back all the mythology. And it's going to be a bit like Horror Would Die in 2009, but they'll have 2 different casts, 2 entirely different casts, one in black and white with classic monsters, including the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You don't see him very often at Horror Nights. So they've shown that. And of course classic, the more modern slashers, including apparently Chucky and Tiffany. They've shown pictures and talked about that. And the Stranger's baby doll face. And who knows who else. Will Freddy and Jason be there? Will Michael Myers be there? Purgers apparently will be there. Oh, Nosferatu will be in the black and white side, because there was a creepy little Nosferatu mask lurking underneath the desk at the table that they showed on Tuesday night. So it looks lots of fun. Anticipation for all the scare zones. And of course the shows I've already covered. The Carnage Returns, and Bill and Ted every year is just totally non-heinous, and I'm looking forward to that, especially with all the fun things they could be making fun of, from Donald Trump to Deflategate to Kanye running for president and God knows what else. It should be hysterically funny, because the world has been quite silly for a year, and they're going to make fun of all of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward with enormous anticipation to this year, and I can't wait. Time is ticking. The day is getting closer, just like those cursed Ring videos. 7 days. 7 days till Halloween Horror Nights 25. I hope All of you who see this will get a chance to experience it for yourself. And I hope to go there several times. I can't say what days specifically I'm going, whether I'll be there opening night or not, whether I'll be there on which of, but I'll be there for some of those nights, for sure, as many as I can get away with. And having said that, all I can say is, stay scared and have fun.